Okay, so in the last session we completed about the net. What is the net types of netting we covered in the last video. Today we are going to cover about the net practice. Okay, so this is our topology for that. So the topology is this one. Okay, I'm keeping this in beside. So let me start all these things. Okay, more action, wipe all nodes, whatever that we have configured, or else okay, we'll start from the beginning. Okay, whatever we did yesterday, that also we will cover today. Okay, because you guys said like it was little bit tough for you, right?
Yes, sir.
No problem. So this is about our R1. Okay. Let me take the console, then I'll explain you what we are going to do today. So R1, you can say inside. Okay. Telnet SSH, we can say R2. Okay. R2. After that, this will be our internet. Okay. Let me. Okay. This will be our internet. And this will be our uh, HTTP server, or we can say web server. Okay. R4 web server. Okay. Just consider as a server. Now, this firewall. So admin, and the admin. Okay. So let's start configuration from that R1. Before that, what we are going to do today, that let me tell you. So static net for inside to outside. Let's suppose the inside user can access the internet. Okay. In a static net also we can allow outside user to access the inside. Okay. But we will do. We need allow multiple private users by using single public IP address. That also we will cover. Destination net to allow outside user to access our in this telnet server and the HTTP server. If you want, you can allow for this one also, but we don't want to allow to enter the outside user to our LAN environment. Okay, getting getting my point, or do I need to explain?
I got you.
Let me explain you once again. Just a minute. No, लेके आ रहे हैं अभी. हाँ, लेके आ रहे हैं इच्छा हुई. ये नहीं मिल गया. स्पीड कम कर लेना, पंखा कर बैठा होगा. Okay, so what we're going to do. Okay, so this is our internet, and this is the outside user. Okay, and this is our server where we wanted to do the telnet. This is our demilitarized zone. Okay, where we are having web server. So these both are in a specific area. Okay, that is called DMZ, demilitarized zone. What is the DMZ? So DMZ means the device which we want to allow for inside user as well to access the outside user as well. Okay, but at the same time we don't want to allow this user to access our lane environment. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Clear? That is called DMZ zone, demilitarized zone. Okay, demilitarized means this is always in a war zone. Okay, because inside user can also access, outside user can also access. Sometimes if the outside user can manipulate and they can enter the network as well. Okay, our inside network also they can enter. So this is always in version. So static net, what we will do first is static net for inside to outside. So in that, the inside user, this user I will allow to access the internet. Okay, to access this internet 1.1.1.1, let's suppose. Okay, but at the same time, the outside user cannot able to access the my inside, because this is in a unidirectional, bidirectional. Okay, not unidirectional. For that also, this is the static net for inside user to outside, but I can use the static net also for the outside user to access the inside. Clear?
Yes, sir.
By using a single public IP address. Okay, static net is nothing but one public IP with one private IP. Means one, we can say private, one private IP plus we need to merge with one public IP. Okay, clear? Because already we discussed na, private IP cannot directly reach to the internet by using the private IP address, right?
Yes,
At
sir.
the same
Correct.
time, the public user like also cannot access by using the public IP to they cannot communicate with the private IP, right?
Yes.
To establish the communication in both, we are having a net. Okay, network address transition, and the static net is the one of the type of the netting. Okay, in static net we are just going to mapping or allowing one user, one private IP user by merging with one public IP user. Okay, let's suppose this is the user and IP is like 192.168.101.2. Okay, this is a private IP. I will merge this with the 1.1.1.1, any public IP address. Okay, so when the packet will receive the firewall, the source will be the here source is 101.2. Here the source will be a 1.1. Here the source will be a different one, right? This one will be a source. The source will be changed in every hop. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So this is about the static net. Then after that we will do static net for outside use, that we will do. Okay, then pet, we need allow multiple private IP user by using single private IP address. Pet is one of the port address translation by using a single public IP. Let's suppose 1.1.1.1 is my public IP, which is I have assigned into this my interface. Okay, this interface 1.1.1.1. There is lots of user, like more than 60,000 of users, 60,000 plus 60,000 users are there inside the network. Do I need to purchase a public IP like 60,000 public IP to allow my users to access the internet? No, right? I can't allow, because the public IP is a very costly. Okay, and we cannot do that. So static net is not in use if you based on the requirement in very manner, like when normally we are not using. In very rare case, based on the circumstances, we can use that static net. Okay, but pet, we will use a single IP address, and the pet will be by using this single IP address, 60,000 plus users can access by handling this single public IP. Okay, what is that already described in the last video? Okay, clear now?
Yes.
Then
Clear,
we
sir.
are having a destination net. Destination net is nothing but destination net to destination net to allow outside user to access HTTP telnet servers. Like this is the telnet server and this is an HTTP server, web server. Okay, so this is the outside user. Like this is just consider this is YouTube and this is the Facebook. We are able to access from our mobile, our laptop, our desktop, YouTube and Facebook, right? We don't know about their IP, right? But still
Yes, sir.
we
Correct.
don't have any user ID password also, right? But
Yes.
we created ID, we logged in by through the web browser or the application, and we created that some sign up we did, right? And our credential, after putting the credential, it went to where it went to that that's their web server. Okay, application server we can say. And our database is created here. Okay, so whenever you're hitting the Facebook, Do you know about the Facebook IP? No, because when you check that what is my IP, it will not what is my IP. Like a NS lookup for the Facebook. Okay, it will show some another IP for you. It will show some public IP for you in your PC, a different public IP. If I do NS lookup, okay, NS lookup. Let me show you. So CMD NS lookup. Okay, NS lookup like Facebook.com. I am not aware about the IP, right? So Facebook is mapped with IPv6. Okay, and also it is mapped with one IP version 4 also. But in the same time, if you check in your PC, it will show a different IP. Means the Facebook server is using, because at the same time Facebook, YouTube is accessing by the millions of users, right? At the same time,
Yes. Yes, sir.
so they cannot handle the traffic by using a single public IP, correct? So they
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
use
Correct, sir.
some public pools of public IP, correct?
Yes.
So accordingly, they are handling the traffic. Okay, if they will use a single public IP, means only 65,000 user can access entire world.
The public IP.
Yeah,
Yes.
public IP
Okay,
means
sir.
what?
Okay.
Nothing, like public IP only we can hit, right, by using the public IP inside. Facebook is also using the private IP only inside for their web server.
Yes.
Okay,
Correct, sir.
but we are hitting what? Public IP, and public IP has been mapped with what? This is their domain name, right? Facebook.com. But this is
Yes.
running like let's suppose this is the DNS part. Okay, DNS. Let's suppose you are, as a human being, we cannot remember the numbers, but we can remember the names, right?
Yes.
So this name or this domain has been mapped with this public IP. Okay, instead of remembering 163.70.139.35, I can remember, I will access the Facebook by using this IP also. I'll show you what is the IP. I copied as well. 163.70 163.70 dot, what is the IP? Let me do, this is the IP, right? Here I can access the Facebook by using this IP. This is the Facebook symbol we're getting, right? But is it
Correct, sir.
possible to remember, because the public IP will change in every 2 days, 3 days, right? So you cannot make a diary and you cannot note down what is the public IP today, right?
Yes.
So for that, what we can do, we can remember the name, right? So same like your
Yeah.
mobile, you are saving my name, my number by some name, right? So whenever you
Yes.
are having any work with me, whenever you are remembering me for the any query, you're calling me, you are searching me by name, not by the number, right? But you are connecting with me by a number, not by the name, right?
Yes.
So DNS is the, DNS is the different part. DNS, I'm just going to give the overview. DNS is resolving, your query. Okay, name to IP and IP to
IP.
name. Okay, so that
Yes.
is a
Yes.
DNS. Got it?
Got it, sir.
So that was a different part, but today's part is a netting. So we'll focus on the netting. Okay. So at the same time, let me turn on this lab device also. Okay. The password is a 123. Meanwhile, it will be on. Okay. Let it be done. Okay. And okay. So we have already some configuration file. Okay. So I'll show you. Net is net. Okay. Net. So for R1, we will use some routing. Okay, that is our IP we are using. Yesterday I already informed you. I showed you how to configure. So from here to there we will use R1. Okay, clear.
Clear, sir.
So R1, I used, I assigned an IP address into their interface, and the loopback interface.
The
Correct,
IPs.
correct, na? And after that, by using this command, this three command, this four line, I configure the IP, whatever the network I am having connected, like 172, 192, 168, or any network which is connected directly connected into in R1, that all should be advertised into that RIP. Okay, that is the meaning of these commands. Okay, and these are the basic interface IP assigning. Clear? So we require to access we need to do some this telnet and SSH also we need to do after some time. So better to I'm just going to configure the telnet and SSH as well. Okay, so this is the command to configure the telnet and SSH. The telnet and SSH is also configured. I believe you guys are aware about the telnet and SSH, because I am just considering you that you are having a CCNA level of skills. Okay, after that we are having a R2. We need to configure the same thing here as well, and we are just doing static default routing towards the firewall, and that I'm also doing here some telnet https also I'm going to configure here. Okay, the firewall is the ID and 123 is the password. Okay guys, so I'm also doing the configuration. If you ask me, I will put one by one commands, but yesterday I given the overview and the configuration also, right? Again I'm repeating these things for your better understanding. R2 is done. Do you have any problem? Anyone? Lakshmi, Hussain, Najis. Here also I'm doing the
No,
same
sir.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, Vash.
Do you have any doubt or any problem by using this?
No, sir.
Hussain?
No, sir. It's fine. This one. This
Okay.
one.
Lakshmi, fine. If you ask me, I'll put the one by one the command.
No, no, I'm fine now, Vash.
Okay. So R3 we don't know, this R3 is the internet, so we cannot do a default routing, right? Because we don't have rights to configure. We are, for the practical purpose, we are just assigning the IP addresses. I'm just going to do one more things called, you know configuration terminal interface loopback 1 IP address. I'm giving 1.1.1.1 as an internet. Okay, 255.0.0.0. That's it, guys. Okay, for R4 also we have something, that is the R4 command. Okay, for that basic interface command and DN and HTTPS. The R4 is our HTTPS server, right? So I'm just enabling that HTTP services also in the firewall. In other firewalls, in other routers, I was just enable that this one. I was just enable what? I was just enable telnet and SSH, but in the R4 I'm going to enable, because this is our HTTP web browser server, so HTTP service must be enabled here. Okay, so we can use the HTTP web browsing also. For the that we need to do this. Okay, then so R1 is done, R2 is done, R3 is done, and R4 is done. Okay, this is not required for us now. So I'm just going to turn off this device. So now we are going to do, we will configure in the firewall. So let me take a firewall console, admin, admin, and admin. Okay, so system interface question mark. What is the IP? Okay, the port number 6 is, port number 1 is an DSCP and port number 6 is an static. So port number 6 I'll need to make as a DSCP, and the port number 1 I'll make as a static. So config system interface edit port number 1, the set mode static. Okay, next edit port number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the set mode DSCP. Okay, after and the save it. Once you save it, you will get the some IP. So system interface question mark. So now after some time you'll get the IP. Okay, okay, 192.168.159.133. So 192 133 is our IP, right? So by using this, we can access the services is not enabled into the port number, this into port number 6. Okay, so we need to do configuration system interface, edit port number 6, edit port number 6, set allow access ping https http ssh. Okay, so I did this. Now if you hit again, the service is enabled, so we can access this firewall. But I wanted to configure interface IP by using the CLI line, and I will recommend you guys, you guys can also use, you guys can also you guys can also do the configuration in a CLI mode only. Okay, so here what we are going to do, this configuration system interface, edit port number of 1, set mode static, and the set IP address is 192.168.1.1.1.2.255. We can do the slash 24. The set allow access ping https http telnet ssh. Okay, next edit port number 2, set mode static, set IP 192.168.10.2 10.1 255 dot 255 dot not 3255. I'm just using as a slash 24. Okay, next edit port number 3, set allow access ping https http set mode static, set IP 101.1.1.100. That will be also slash 24. Next edit port number 4, set allow access ping https http ssh https http. Okay, set IP 192.168.20.1 slash 24. Okay, and in source system interface question mark. So all the IP has been assigned. You can also take it check it into this. Okay, so under the network interfaces. Okay, under the network interfaces, IP has been assigned, right? So we just need to use as a manual to the DSCP. Instead of DSCP, we keep as a manual. Okay, so RIP I have configured into this router. So in this whatever the device I'm having, okay, whatever the network I'm having, which is directly connected to me, the firewall, I will just introduce these networks. Okay, so what is the network? 1.2, 10.1, and 20.1. So RIP 192.168.1.1 slash 24, 192.168.10.1 slash 24, 192 192.168.20.1 slash 24. Okay, and I'm just also going to enable the redistribution. You guys already knows about these things, so I'm not going to explain much more. And I'm also going to do the static default routing towards the internet. So the IP is a 101.1.1.1, right? So port number 3 towards internet, I given that default routing. So now let me check get router info routing table all, right? It's the command to check. So just default routing is there. 101 is already connected with the port number 3. 172 one, this is the part of our R1, right? The 192.168.1.0 is a part of our which is directly connected with the R1. 10.0 is directly connected with the port number 2. 20.0 is connected with the port number 4. 192.168.101 is a part of our my R1 device inside local, right? So all the networks I am having. So execute ping 1.1.1.1, right? So I am able to access the internet. The same time execute ping, I can access 192.168.1.1. I can access, right? I can also access execute ping 192.168.10.2. 10 dot what is the IP? 10.100 or what? Here 10.100, right? So I will use 10.100. I'm able to reach, right? At the same time 20.100 I'm able to reach, correct? So I am able to access, if you ask me to ping execute 172.10.10.1.1. So I am able to access the R1 inside network also. These are the 172 one, right? 10, 5, 4, everything I can access. Execute ping 10.10.10.0.2.1. I can access, right? 3.1 I can access. Means from the firewall I can access each and everything. From the firewall I can access the internet as well. But from R1, let me try. Is it possible for R1 to access the 1.1.1.1.1 ping 1.1.1.1? It cannot reach, right? It will not reach by the R2, by the R3, because what? Because they are using what they are using. They are using the private IP, right? Correct or not? R1 is trying to access the public IP, which is the 1.1.1 is a public IP, right? Which is in the internet. And by using what this device is trying to access, by using the private IP. Also, if you're asking me, like, so for that, what by default is a, by default is explicit deny. So for that, if you want, you can go and feature visibility and create a, enable this multi-port interface policy, apply, create a, policy in firewall policy, create new R1 to, I will use, I'm just giving R1 to outside. Okay, packet will come from port number 1, packet will go via port number 3, source will be a all, destination will be a all. Okay, source services will be a all, and the accept allowed dating is enabled. Done. Correct. So I will also ping from here. I can ping, right? I'm able to ping, right?
Yes.
But what about this 172 ping 172 dot ping 1.1.1.1 by using source loopback 1. Loopback 1 is also able to reach. Loopback 2 is also able to reach. Loopback 3 is also able to reach. Loopback 4 is also able to reach. Whatever that network I'm having, all are able to reach the internet. But at the same time, my management is asking me, okay, that like, let's suppose you are engineer there, right? And they're asking, like, you just need to allow a single users to access the internet. It was happening when in initial days of when the internet was not that much. Internet was a very, costlier. Correct. Because generally blindly the internet was costlier, so people in the organization, only the organization was allowed to the, useful candidate, or useful for the time being. Okay, so what is the my requirement? My manager has given me some, you know he dropped me a mail, like, just allow this 192.168.1.1. Don't allow 172, 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 10.4, or don't allow this 101.1. Just allow this 192.168.1.1 to access the internet by using what? This public IP address. Remember, this public IP address 101 is not, this is the 100, right? But I'm going to use 101.1. Okay. Why? Because this will also I can use. We don't need to assign, because this is a public IP address, and we will use this. Okay. So my manager is asking me to do this. So I'm just going to do according to his request. Okay. So R1 to outside, I'm giving internet. Okay. So the policy will be, the packet will be come from the here. Okay. The packet will come from here only. Or why I'll create unnecessary these things. Okay. Better to, I will modify that existing policies instead of keeping source with all, right. Instead of keeping the source, I will use this IP. Okay. Or I'll show you. I will create a virtual IP as per my manager. I'll go there, and I'll give, into out. Okay, static net Okay, into out. Got it? So now, what is the my external IP? 101.1.101, right? This is the my IP address which is given by my manager, 101.1.1.101, right? It should be IP version 4 external IP address and starting IP version address. Just a minute. External IP address, static net. This will be my IP address, and here I am allowing into 168.101.1, right? Sometime it making me confused also. 1.1. So IP version 4 range, IPv4 external IP address range will be a 101.1. The IP version range will be a 1.1. Okay. So I don't need to do this from here. Cancel this. Go to the firewall policies only. R1 instead of source, I will use as a particular IP address. Okay. Here 192.168.1.1 only is allowed, right? 32x R12 static net I am going to use. Okay, what I am going to use, this IP address I am going to allow. Okay, to access the internet. Clear? Only the 1.1 is allowed. Static net. Let me do some modification to this. Any, by using the any IP address, static net. Okay, so in static net I will use this, right? But this is not a correct way, because here we are clearly defining who will who will access the internet, right? Here we need to define what we did in last video. Let me recall this.
Okay, Hussein. So I'm audible, right?
This is our video, right? Okay, this is the SCCNA. Let me
CCNA.
open this one. Here also we did right the same thing. What one is static net, and that is to go as using 32. Yeah, by using the anything. Okay, okay, missing the point. Let's do it. Sorry, yes. So what we are trying to do here, we will use particular IP address. Okay, use dynamic IP address, and here we need to create these things. Okay, not there. So static net. Here I will allow for all, right? Here in the source, is the source, I will allow, I need to allow all the users can access the internet. In destination also I can access anywhere. But if I use outgoing, as outgoing interface address means it will become a paid. So I'm going to use, I'm having the manager has given me the IP address, right? So that IP address I need to use the 1 to 1. Okay, so 1 to 1 means 192 once that IP will be a 101.1.1.101, right? Control C, and this will be my IP address. So static net into out. Okay, done. So this time I will use this static net. Okay, but here I need to you know advertise this IP address also, 192.168.1.32 as a source. It is a here I did, right? Static net, static public IP. So what it is doing now? Okay, okay, so I am using the static dynamic pool, and instead of here I will use uh, What I will use, I'll use as a source. I can use this static net only. Okay, static net. So what is there inside the static net? This is allowed for 192.168.1 dot only. Okay, static net. By using what? By using what? So by using use dynamic API pool. Okay, so enable. So now by using this, what will be happen? What it will be happen now? Look back, ping 1.1. Okay, the source will become a 192.168.1.1. It is reaching, right. I repeat count, I'm having 100. So if you check in the ISP, enable debug IPICMP, the packet is again I the what is the packet is coming from 101.1.100, right. This is a different thing. 96.45.45 is a DNS IP by default of the firewall. Correct now. Let me hit once again.
Correct, correct.
ISP. Now the destination is coming from 101, not from the 192.168.1.1, right? In
Yes,
internet it is showing what? 101.1.101. But in the source it is showing as in the reply it is showing as the 1.1, but at the destination it will show as a different IP.
one not one.
Yes.
Yeah,
Again it is showing, right? So this is the way how
yes,
we are going to allow. But at the same time, if you asked to ping what, to ping this loopbacks 5 to access the internet, it will not allow, right? Because based on our policy, we allow we what we have allowed, we allowed just a static net. The destination is all source is a static net that 1.1 only can access, rest will not access. Okay, by using this particular public IP, not by using this interface. Okay, so this is about the static net. What, at the same time, if I ask to access this ISP to access my inside, okay, it will not access, right. Ping 192.168.1.1 because we don't have reverse policy, right. We don't have a reverse policy, correct.
yes. As of now.
So as of now not, but we will we our requirement is to that outside user can also access the inside. For that we require we to create a virtual IP. Into go to into this. Okay, static out to in. Okay, by using which IP, 190.101.1.101. Okay, the whenever the outside user will hit this 101.1.101, it should redirect to 192.168.1.1. I'm just giving order to my firewall. When the someone is hitting to by my whenever someone is hitting my public IP, that is a 101.1.101, this should be a redirect to 192.168.1.1. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so for that again I need to create a policy, firewall policy, create new static out to in. Okay, source will become port number 3 because this is the outside interface, port number 3. And the outgoing will be on port number 1. Packet will receive by the port number 3, it will send via port number 1. Source will be all because there is a public, so we cannot define. Destination we can define. Okay, static out to in. So we will allow this. Services will be all, but except flow based, and net is not required. Okay, netting is not required when someone is coming from out to in. Okay, so netting is not required. Okay, now try to hit try to hit 192.168.1.1 from the firewall, from the router 3. Ping 192.168.101.101.1.1000. So this firewall is accessible, but 101 is not accessible. 101 is also accessible, but by hitting this, okay, when someone will hit the 101.1.1, what we give in the order when someone is hitting the 101.1 from the outside, when someone is hitting 101.1.1.101, it should redirect to 192.168.1.1 directly. Sorry, just a minute now. Directly the firewall cannot directly the firewall cannot go, uh, you know directly firewall cannot, what cannot do, directly outside user cannot access to the my inside network, right? Because this inside is in a private IP. I give an order by the policy when someone is hitting 101.1.101, it should redirect to 192.168.1.1, right? So this is my outside
Yes.
user, right? These are three is my outside user. So what I will do, I'll do the telnet configuration terminal, okay, and let me do the debug enable into this, okay, in R1 debug IP ICMP enable. Now, what we have to do from R3 from ISP we need to access, right? Telnet telnet to what 101.1.1.101. It is asking, right? Firewall cafe. This is my ID and the password is 123. What I access? R1 I access, right? From outside by using which IP? 101.1.101, right? Correct na? And I received the access of R1 from R3, correct?
Yes, sir.
Exit. Let me ping. Ping 101.1.101. So the packet is coming from where? From
From
ISP I am trying
ISP.
to access. What I'm trying to access? What I'm trying to access? 101.1.101. But the reply is coming in where? 192. Where it is coming?
Yeah.
Into R1, right?
Uh,
It is directed the packet is
yeah.
coming to the R1. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is about static net for inside to outside and outside to inside. Okay?
Okay, sir. Clear. Clear, sir.
Okay. Lakshmi, is it clear? Hussein and Najeez?
I am fine, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the way how we can, enable the inside to outside and outside to inside access. Okay.
Okay.
So now another thing, static net is done. This is static net for inside and outside. Now we will do the pet configuration. Let's suppose I wanted to allow for 172, 10, and everything I wanted to allow, right? For that I need to go to create a virtual IP whenever someone is eating. Okay. I can use the pet by using here from here as well from firewall policy. Just a minute, guys. I'm having on call. Just a minute.
Sure, sir.
Guys, actually, I'm having some, urgent call, so I may not be continue today. So today we have completed just in to
Okay.
out and out to in. Tomorrow we will
Okay,
tomorrow
sir.
we'll continue the same thing. I took the backup of this configuration file, and I'm just going to save this. So tomorrow we'll start from the here itself. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay,
I'm
sir.
just going to
Thank
save this configuration R1 enable,
Okay, Manish.
right?
Thank you.
So is it fine?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hello, hello, hello. Is it audible?